What's going on, Nick?
How's it going, Rob?
Going good.
That's
So we,
good.
we got a little backstory on you on how you became a crypto millionaire.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting because the week before I met you, I actually was talking to Phil, and he had mentioned you and how you had this crazy story of how you basically became a crypto millionaire and quit your job in the last year, and you just retired, you're self-retired, and now you're a full-time crypto investor. So that's basically what I wanted to know, was like your full story, because I never really heard the full story. So basically take me back to where it all started with your crypto
Yeah.
journey to where we are today.
Absolutely. We're gonna have to go all the way back to 2014 during that bull run. I remember the first time I bought Bitcoin. It was after I had seen it run up to about $1,100 in that bull run at the end of 2013, 2014 timeframe. And even prior to that, the first time I heard about Bitcoin,
Yeah, when
uh,
when was like the first
the
time?
first time I ever saw Bitcoin, this was when
How'd you hear about it?
I was in and out of financial forums my whole life. I think the first time, I don't even remember the exact year it was, but Bitcoin was like at $14. And I remember looking at it thinking, well, why is it worth more than $1? Because it's like this fake internet money.
Right.
So I kind of just like blew it off at that point. I was like, I'm not really,
Do you remember?
I don't really understand it.
Do
I'm
you
sorry.
remember the name of the forum? Because I remember like hearing and seeing about these forums back in the day that people were on, but I never really knew about them. Like, what was the name of one of these forums?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I'm not even on forums anymore. But I've always been super into finances and retiring early and just trying to learn from my mistakes and just try to improve and get better, because if you're in this game, it is not easy. You will get beat up. Like, I have gone to zero so many times, you wouldn't even believe it. People think that I became a crypto millionaire because I got lucky or something, but it was really
Wait,
learn.
so
But
so what was the conversation on the forum when they're talking about Bitcoin at $14? Like, what's that conversation look like, if you remember?
dude, I don't even remember. I was just, I remember I was bored at work one day and just searching around, and Bitcoin came up. It might not even been in a forum. It might have been on Yahoo Finance or something, some article that I read, and I went to research it, and I didn't even look at it for more than 10 or 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, this thing's $14, fake internet money. Forget about it. So go fast forward 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
later.
So how do you get to the point where you're speculative of Bitcoin? It's $14 to where you're ready to make a serious investment. Like,
It
what happens
just,
between that point?
I did more research on it and the technology behind it and the actual blockchain technology and how you can send money to anyone anywhere in the world without a human or company involved. It's just the computers and the programming on the network that will verify the transactions, and it's decentralized. I finally understood what decentralization meant
Yeah.
and how powerful it could be once. And I saw, like, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I think I'm a pretty intelligent person. And it took me a significant amount of time to fully grasp and understand what decentralization meant. So I thought, well, if it took me a couple years to finally figure it out, and the masses are going to eventually figure this out on how important and how powerful this technology is, I'm like, I got to get invested. So it was after I saw it run up to around $1,100, and then I'm like, this is like a bubble. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I must have bought my first Bitcoin around like $800 or $900, but it wasn't much. It was just a few $100s worth, just to play around and try to trade it.
How did you buy it back then? Like, what was the process of buying Bitcoin at that point?
I mean, this was 2014. Coinbase was around
It
back
was.
then. It was, yeah.
Okay.
I got some pretty cool screenshots of Coinbase back then when I made my big 100 Bitcoin transaction back then, and it was the beginning of
What do you
2015.
mean 100 Bitcoin transaction?
I mean, I literally went on to Coinbase and purchased 100 Bitcoins for like $20,000. I think it was around $200 a coin.
And what happened to that 100 Bitcoins?
Um, Over the course of the next 2 years, so this was what, beginning of 2015. Between 2015 and 2017, I learned a lot of hard lessons in day trading. At least half of those Bitcoins disappeared from me just day trading them away. learning my lessons the hard way.
When you say day trade, were you futures trading or spot trading?
I don't think they called it futures back then, but you could leverage trade on a website called, I think, Bitfinex I was trading on.
I think that's still around, right?
It is, but if you're in the US, they don't allow you to trade on it anymore. But you could leverage trade on Bitfinex, and I was doing that. I was longing short and just learning the ropes of this leverage trading game.
Did you have did you study it all, or you kind of just learned by trial and error?
Everything that I will speak of now, or everything I'm going to talk about, it's all trial and error.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you didn't read a textbook or something. You just kind of.
I mean, I read Robert Kiyosaki's book.
But I'm saying on trading specifically.
No. I never read anything on trading. I learned it all School of Hard Knocks.
I think they call it trial by fire.
Trial by fire. I paid a lot of what my dad would call tuition into the market.
That's a good one. Okay, so found out about Bitcoin, $14. Fast forward, now you buy
100 Bitcoins.
100 Bitcoin
in 2015,
which would now be worth
100
times we're at.
It's like $5 million is 100 Bitcoins now.
Okay, so you traded most of that away. And then what happened?
I got a little bit smart back in that cycle. I did have targets set, and I was smart enough to put some of the Bitcoin away. I didn't trade it all away. Ended up making a decent amount in that bull run, but I got out early. I sold around $4,000, $4,200, I think was the exact amount. And I watched it in the next 3 months after I sold run up to $20,000. And
do you still hold Bitcoin?
No, at the current moment, 2022? No, I do not have any Bitcoin.
Got out completely, and you did pretty well, like that bull market back then when you got out around $4,000.
Yeah, and I didn't get back into Bitcoin. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin and anticipating this bull cycle in 2021, but I didn't buy that much. I was more into the altcoins at that point.
So what happened? 2014 was the bull market, right?
No, I'm talking 2017 was when I made my first decent amount of money in crypto.
So 2017, and then what happened after 2017? It just went right into the bear
2017, market. I was kind of out of crypto for about a year completely. I knew it felt like we were in a bear market. I was kind of waiting for the halvening to happen again before I kind of put any significant amount of money back in. I mean, some personal things happened as well that kind of were very expensive.
That affected your crypto portfolio?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know if you want to talk. I can talk about the divorce on here, but I mean, I got divorced in 2018. No, when was it? 2020? No, it was 2019. Yeah, I got divorced, and at that point, I was kind of almost back at zero again. So what I did after that was it was almost like a Hail Mary, but it was an educated Hail Mary. I knew the power of crypto and the amount of returns you could make. So I basically took my entire 401k, cashed it out. It's around 50.
After you got divorced?
After I got divorced, yeah.
Wait, so what happened to your crypto from the divorce? You basically went from...
It was split 50-50.
You were what, 6 figures, 7 figures in crypto? And then you just...
I mean, some of that stuff got spent on, I told you, I went to the Tony Robbins conferences, and those are pretty pricey.
All right, so all your profits you spent or lost in the divorce, or just through...
Pretty much, yeah. And I didn't have any crypto after that.
Post-divorce, you're now near or at zero, and now you're divorced, and now you cash out your 401k.
Yes, I cashed out my...
And what do you do with that?
It was about... $50,000. I had my 401k, and anyone looking at me from the outside probably thought I was crazy. What are you doing? You're taking your entire...
Do you just invest in one coin, or you diversify that, or what was your move then?
At that point, I think I was diversified across 3 or 4 cryptos.
And was this when you're about to invest that 50,000? Are we now in the bear market, bull market? Where are we now?
We are towards the end of 2019. We're like halfway through the bear market. The market didn't bottom until the COVID crash of like March of 2020.
Right.
So this was like 6 to 8 months before the COVID crash in March of 2020. So I literally I put my entire life savings into crypto, and by the time March rolled around, I was accumulating also because I was working full time at that point. Every 2 weeks, I'd put a little bit more in and accumulate.
So you get your 50K and you go all in on 3 or 4 coins, and then you're.
Do you want to talk about the coins I invested in, or just say?
Well, let's go like strategy first. So 50K
Strategy.
and you go all in.
Yeah, I spread it. I spread it across like 4 different coins.
Right, but do you like buy? Do you just like
It was
purchase?
it was
in
all
one
at
day?
once. No, it was pretty much all at once.
Okay,
Yeah,
so on one day you made a $50,000 investment
absolutely.
spread across 3 or 4 coins,
Hmm.
and then you said you were working your job, and then you just
I was accumulating. Yeah,
cost average in.
every couple weeks, and I wasn't just like, it was kind of funny because you can, at that time you could really only buy crypto with cash in your account. You couldn't use credit cards, and I don't even know if you can do it at this point. But I was literally living off of my credit cards, and every paycheck I was putting most of my paycheck into crypto and accumulating, because I saw how low some of these prices were compared to where they were at the end of 2017, and I'm like, if we have another bull run, this can be epic. I mean, we could 10x, we could 20x from here, and that was my thought process.
Living on the edge, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Did you ever think like you could potentially be wrong and there would like crypto wouldn't take off? And
Yeah, March of 2020, after I had put my entire life savings in and also been living off of credit cards for 6 months, maxing out my debt on this kind of educated Hail Mary. Yeah, the COVID crash happened and my portfolio was down 60%. Like when I looked at everything I had invested and where it was like at the bottom of the COVID crash, I was down 60%, and I was like, well, the only thing I can do now is hold. I believe in the crypto technology.
Were you in a lot of debt at that time from credit cards?
Yeah, I was probably $30,000 in credit card debt. I had just bought a BMW and had a pretty big loan on that as well. And I just liquidated my entire 401k. And so I basically had a lot of debt, a lot of crypto, and crypto, I was anticipating a bull run, and we were going to just wait and see if it played out.
At that point, you got to be so bought in and so
Committed to the process.
Psychologically committed to crypto, because 99.9% of people aren't willing to take that risk. Most people are still skeptical of crypto, or invest very lightly. They would not go all in like that. So you got to like really.
No, but by that point, I'd understood crypto so much and the technology behind it. Like I believed in it. I believed in it so much more than the traditional markets, like the stock markets, the options markets. And those are so heavily manipulated by Wall Street. And so the amount of returns you can get there, I didn't see it. Crypto is such a young asset class. The volatility, yes, it scares people, but the volatility is where you make the massive returns.
It's true. I feel like, so 2014, when you found out about Bitcoin, it's $200, whatever it was, I still feel like we're early as far as the whole crypto landscape goes.
Yeah, if you look at, like, I still go out and I'll randomly bring up crypto to people when I'm out at parties or when we're just out talking to random people. Sometimes I'll ask them, like, what do you know about crypto? And everyone, yeah, there's still a lot of room to grow. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're all in on crypto, maxing out your credit cards, living on debt. You emptied your 401k, and crypto crashes to low.
Yeah, March of 2020. Yeah, I was pretty.
And then what happens after that?
It took a couple shots.
Couple shots? What do you mean?
No, I was drinking. I remember a couple shots of vodka. Yeah, I was drinking a little bit during that time to kind of help me get through that emotional trauma.
You think it was all over for crypto and your?
No, portfolio? I mean, part of me was like, what am I going to do if this doesn't rebound and take off into a bull market? But the other part of me is like, if it does, like, if we get a repeat of 2017, even just half of a repeat of 2017, I was going to be golden because I had so much invested. I mean, we're talking almost 6 figures invested. And if it just 10x'd, like
6 figures invested at bear market prices.
At bear market prices, yeah.
Right.
I said if we just 10x from there, I'll get to seven figures, and at with what's passiving like a 7% return, 7-8% return, that's 70-80 grand a year passive, and I can live on that. My expenses aren't that high. That was my plan. That was my goal the whole time I was thinking about doing all this.
So what happened?
Well, look at the charts.
Everything
Look at the charts. I was mainly invested in altcoins. Bitcoin went from what, like, I think it bottomed out around 33,000 something, went up to the 60,000 range. So that 20x'd. Some of my altcoins that I was holding more than 20x'd. I didn't sell them at the top, and I haven't even sold them all at this point, because I still think some of the altcoins still have room to run.
All right. So you made up pretty well from that strategy, because after COVID, we hit a pretty nice bull run.
Mm-hmm.
And as I understand, you quit your job in the past year due to the success of how those investments played out. And so where are you now? You're full-time crypto investor, managing your portfolio, like fast forward to present day from the bull market to now, like brings up to speed.
Like, what am I doing on a daily basis?
No, so basically, to cap things off, you made out like a bandit from the bear market, buying to the recent bull run, and what's kind of your strategy now that you've made some significant wealth in crypto? What are you looking forward to now, or like what are your next moves in crypto?
I mean, it just looking at the charts, it looks like could be headed into a bear market. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to continue to watch the charts. I'm still, my portfolio is 80% invested in crypto at the moment. So I'm leaning more bullish than bearish on a retracement rally coming here for Bitcoin, and the altcoins really taking off into that. And I don't know if we don't need to get into the details of what that is at this point, but that's how I'm currently invested. I'm still mostly invested in crypto and waiting for my price targets to hit on my altcoins, and then I'll be selling most of them and kind of watching and waiting for another bear market to play out, and hopefully, repeat the process and see what happens. Yeah.
All right. Pretty interesting. That's that's a wild story, wild run. Most people wouldn't have the guts to follow through with that. I feel like most people would have given up at maybe at the divorce, or all the ups and downs you had, or maybe they would have just called quits when COVID happened because of just the chaos and, uncertainty that happened at that time. But here you are, you're now a full-time crypto investor, retired from your job, and got a lot to look forward to with, the markets and the growth of crypto. So
yeah, absolutely.
That was good.
It was nice talking to you, Rob.
Nice talking, Nick.
All right, let's do it.
We'll wrap it up.